there is a dhyana shloka to the Mahabharata. I'm sure those of you who have had the opportunity to learn of the Mahabharata or the Bhagavad Gita will know. Bhishma Drona Tata. Have you heard of this shloka? Yes. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadrata Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Vela Kula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghoramakara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Kalupandavairana Nadi Kaivartaka Keshava. This is a dhyana shloka, one of the dhyana shlokas, 9 dhyana shlokas to Bhagavad Gita. It's a very beautiful shlokam that gives you an imagery. Bhishma Drona Tata. On both sides of a river, one bank is Bhishma, the other bank is Drona. So if you have to swim across the river and go to the bank, you will have to cross one of these banks. One is Ganga Putra Gangeya Bhishma. The varam that he had was he could choose the day and time of his death. What a boon. Right? You can choose. The other person will die only if he feels the fatigue. And the boon is he will never get tired. That is Drona. Bhishma Drona Tata. That bank is Bhishma. Very rarely we as Upanyasakas get the opportunity to describe what we want without using an LED. That is one bank, Bhishma. The other bank is Drona. Bhishma Drona Tata. What is the river? Jayadrata Jala. The red color blood of Jayadratha, the son-in-law of the house, because they had a sister called Dushala. Dushala was given in marriage to the king of Sindhu Sauvir of Pradesham, current day Karachi. That king was Jayadratha. So Jayadratha, who was the king of that particular region called Sindhu Rajyam, was the one who was responsible for abducting Draupadi in the Vanaparva, and later he was the one who was responsible for the death of one of their most treasured sons called Abhimanyu. So this Jayadratha's blood was what was poured. So in a way, for their sister becoming a widow, the brothers were themselves responsible. The sister becoming widow at the hands of their brother. Can you give me one more incident? Very good. Ravana was responsible for the death of his sister's husband called Vidyujjihva. That is why she never wanted to stay in Lanka and she stationed herself in Janasthana. So there Ravana was responsible for the death of Vidyujjihva, the husband to his sister called Shurpanaka. Same thing was here. So the blood of Jayadratha's body filled the river, it seems. Jayadratha Jala. Red color blood. That is Jayadratha's blood. Gandhara Nilotpala. In the middle of the red color flowing thick blood came a beautiful lotus, blue in color, called Shakuni. Gandhara Nilotpala. So because Shakuni was the most friendly with all people, he had friends across parties. Whichever time he could jump the ship and change party. Shakuni was that kind of a person. He was very good friends with Krishna. You'll be wondering if they will not look into their eyes. Never. They were always people who used to speak very well. You'll be wondering, are these people going to fight the Bharata war? That happens in the parliament as well. Right? You will be thinking, अरे ये सब लोग इधर ये शादी में नाच रहे हैं एक साथ और उधर इतना झगड़ा करते हैं, वो ही है. So Gandhara Nilotpala. So Shakuni was that lotus flower that had blossomed in the red waters. Now don't bring all botany here. That lotus cannot blossom in a river. You should not bring all that botany. It's just an understanding. Gandhara Nilotpala. Shalya Grahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula. So then and there you will find large boulders, rocks. You have to be extremely careful. So they become Karna, Vikarna. They were all those rocks that can stop anybody from crossing, because you find such large rocks that can damage you and your body. Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara. Drona's son Ashwathama, Vikarna, Ghora, Makara, they were all crocodiles. Duryodhana Vartini, they were eddies. Then and there you can see some whirlpools. That is Duryodhana Vartini, they were 100 in number. Now on one bank were 5 people waiting to cross this dangerous river filled with crocodiles, eddies, large boulders, blood like water from this side to the other. They needed a boat, and that was Keshava. So Keshava was a boatman who sat in the boat and said, I will take you from this bank to the other. Don't worry about the crocodiles. Don't worry about the rocks. Don't worry about the eddies. Don't worry about the blood river. I will take you from this side to that side. This is what this cruise is doing to us. Right. We too have a large river. We too have 2 banks. We too have Nile crocodile species. If you have had plans of swimming, think twice. Okay. So I'm sure when the Gajendra called out for help, Bhagavan appeared. But I'm not sure if we are as devout as a Gajendra to call when we seek a Nile crocodile. Right. So there is always a Bhagavan. A boat carries us, ferries us. Same as Bhagavan. So here we have been reading that Keshavaha, that Keshava, Keshi Hantaraha, is the one who is the boatman who can take us. He is the one who is the boat. Toni Peradu Ulalgindren, says Andal in Nachiyar Tirumozhi. In Mahanarayana Upanishad we say Jata Vedase Sunavama. As we say, Naveva Sindhum, in a Sindhu, in a river, in an ocean, Naveva Sindhum, like the boat, you are supposed to be my boat. So boat is Bhagavan, boat is Keshava. In that boat, we are reading about Keshava. Keshava is the boat, Keshava is the boatsman, but here in this boat, we are reading about Keshava. In that Yaadavaabhyudayam comes the 6th sarga. Out of how many sargas? 24. Yesterday I revealed this at about 8:10. Okay, you should remember. Shamayata Puruhuta Mahotsavam Vrajapatihi Saha Vallava Yuthapaihi Nibhrita Manjugira Nijasununa Nijagade Jagadeka Kutumbina Shamayata. Now, in that leading large community of Vrajangana. So they were all people who used to live in that land. Their only source of income was to sell milk products. Now don't ask me what milk. A2, grass fed, cow's milk. Then what else? The calf used to be given its share, so vegan people need not have to worry. Okay, so it was that kind of a cow from which milk was taken in the moral way. No machines were used. They were not troubled. Cows voluntarily would give that milk. So, Yechakalangal Yedir Pungi Meedu Alippa. So that kind of milk used to come and all dairy products used to be made and that used to be bartered, sold. Shamayata Puruhuta Mahotsavam Vrajapatihi Sah Vallava Yuthapaihi Vrajapatihi Vrajanam Patihi Vrajapatihi. The one who is the Pati. Pati, what does Pati mean? Leader. Padi. Very good. One who does Yagam, Yajna is called Pati. When we use it in the context of describing the husband and wife, the husband should be doing Yajna. Then only he can be called Pati. Chumma, just because you want to be slightly Indic, you want to use some Indic words, I am her Pati. Ennatha Pati ver. Only when you do Yajna, you are called Pati. And that too from no other part of the body, through the hand you have to do. Yeah. So if you do, then everybody in Egypt will be a Pati. Yeah. So, Pati means you will have to do using your hand. So that Yajna, the one who conducts, is called a Pati. In case the wife assists that Pati, then she is Patni. So you cannot be a Patni when he is not a Pati. He cannot be a pati when he doesn't conduct a yajna. Then how else do we introduce? Sanskritam is very understanding of our situation. It will know that there are some human beings who will never do. So it comes up with other words like bharta. What do we do with bharta? Chapada vendita. Bengan. Yeah. So this is bharta. So these are all other words that we can use. So he says, Vrajapatihi. Patihi means leader. See, there was a big issue one time. I had to participate in it in a TV debate. We call the president in Bharata Desham as Rashtrapati. Correct. Now people asked, should the lady be called Rashtrapatni? You're able to get? There, Pati Shabdam is not treated with the way we treat husband and wife, the one who does yajna. Pati means leader. See, if you remember in the days of the past, a lady who used to author would be called authoress. We don't use that word anymore. We say author, that's all. Whether it's male or female, it doesn't matter. We say mankind, we don't say womankind, because it's a common generic word. Similarly, we cannot use the word Rashtrapatni because Pati is gender specific. It does not, whether it is a male or female or whoever, it doesn't matter, it is Rashtrapati. So Vrajapati, Nandagopal was called Vrajapati. Shamayata Puruhu Tamahotsavam Vrajapatihi Saha Vallavayuthapaihi. The one who was regarded as the leader amongst their own community. That is very important. இவர்களை நாங்கள் எங்கள் தலைவராக கருதவில்லை. இவர் எங்கள் தலைவர் இல்லை. அப்படின்லாம் there was no problem. Everybody regarded them as their தலைவன். Nibhrita Manjugira Nijasununa Nijagade Jagadeka Kutumbina. So in that community that unanimously called Nandagopal their leader was the one who was born, who was regarded as the leader of the entire universe. See, these people were fighting over small posts. How do I say this? In some of the associations, welfare associations, it is called welfare association. It will be an apartment building with 10 apartments. 10. 3 of them will be empty. 4 of them tenants will be living. In that there will be one fight for the president post. Yeah. 5 of them will not pay maintenance. 2 of them will not pay electricity bill. 2 of them will keep their entire shoe rack outside. All of this will be there. For that president post, it will be like one big election. So in a Vraja Bhumi where everybody used to say, Namaste sir, Namaskara sir, to Nandagopal, Vedanta Desika says, you are all not cognizant that there is one little boy wandering amidst you who is the leader of this universe. And to this man you are saying, hello sir, yes sir, come sir. Inga president sir our. Nandagopal, inga Talaivar sir, Talaivar. Here is one Talaiva who has created your Talaiva. But you are unaware of that. Jagad eka kutumbina, Jagad eka kutumbina. Viditavaniva vignapayamyaham shrunutame shakune riva bhashitam shakuhu. Means a bird. If you replace that U, it becomes shuka, which means a parrot. Shuka is a shaku. Correct? Correct? Parrot is a bird. Shuka is a shaku. So, shakune riva bhashitam pruthuka buddhiraham pruthu chetasaha prabhavato bhavataha nahi shikshaye. Now, as all these huge talaivars of all their communities were discussing something very important with Nandagopal, this little boy, not even barely of 6 or 7 years of age, goes and talks to the father and he says, Papa, you are the wise man. Anybody remember in your family or wherever you go, if there is somebody who gets angry, how should you bring their anger down? First you should value their anger. You should say, எவ்வளோ அழகாக கோவப்படுறேன். இந்த மாதிரி ஒருத்தர் கோவப்பட்டு நான் பார்த்ததே, உங்கள் கோவமே அழகாக இருக்குது சார். he'll feel very good. நம்ம கோவம் கூட அழகாக இருக்கா, then you can bring him down. First you should always appreciate the other person's anger. உங்களை மாதிரி கோவப்பட்டு உலகத்தை இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அழகனை நான் பார்த்தது எப்படி you look extremely smart when you get angry, sir. அப்படின்னா he'll feel very good. Same here, what Krishna does is he knows what these people are deciding is something very, very trivial. But he first goes and says, Papa, you are very wise. Nobody has given this statement to Nandagopal in his life. Krishna says, you are very wise. Me? Kana, main wise hu? Haan, you are wise. Now, I am pretending to be wise. Krishna says, Viditavaniha vaniva vignapayamyaham. I am talking as if I am a very wise person. You are the wise person. I am pretending to be wise. Understand the difference. He says, Prutuka buddhir aham pruthu chetasaha. Prutuka buddhi means balaka buddhi. We say balaka buddhi, right? Balaka buddhi means a child's knowledge. You know, a child will keep insisting until you buy that toy for that child. And once you buy it, will throw it away and go. That is balaka buddhi. Right. So that pruthu chetasaha, I am a balaka buddhi. You are a great man. Nandagopal, I have never gone to school. அதெல்லாம் இல்லைப்பா, நீ காமராசரையா, எங்களுக்கு ஸ்கூலுக்கே போகாத காமராசரையா நீங்கள்லாம். ஸோ பிருத்துக புத்திரஹம் பிருத்து சேதசா ஸ்ருணுதமே சகுனேரிவ பாஷிதம். ஐ டு நாட் ஹாவ் நாலேஜ் ஆஃப் மை ஓன். Whatever I am going to say is what is told in the Shastras and Puranas. I am only repeating it. See, this is a beautiful difference that we need to bring between the Ramayanam and the Bhagavatam. When we refer to Valmiki, we say, Kujantam Ramarameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. So Valmiki is a kokila pakshi. Quail. What does quail do? It has manodharma. See, there are two kinds of sangeetam, right? One is Karnataka sangeetam, Shastriya sangeetam. Then there is Sampradaya Bhajana Paddhati. In Sampradaya Bhajana, you just have to repeat what that Acharya says. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. Vanamali Radha Ramana Giridhari Govinda. So you have to just repeat. It is so easy. Whereas in Shastriya Sangeetam, what will you repeat? But we want to say something. That is why Shabash. We have to say something. But we can't repeat. Then what will happen to that kacheri if people start repeating this? We can't repeat. So this is kokilam. That is parrot. Parrot will repeat. Kokilam will sing on its own. Valmiki is like kokilam. Shuka is like the parrot. You have to repeat. That is Shastriya Sangeetam. This is Bhajana Sampradayam. So Krishna says, Shakuneriva Bhashitam. I am not kokila. I am like a parrot. I will just parrot what you say in English. Parrot is also used as a verb. I am parroting, which means I am repeating. I am going to repeat. Whatever the Shastram says, I am going to repeat. For that, what is the disclaimer he has given? You are wise. I pretend to be wise. Why? Because his father has to listen to what he says. So you have to praise the other person. Now he has deployed the Kakanyayam. He says, I am the parrot, but he has deployed the Kakanyayam. You know that story? There used to be a lady who used to make vada. The crow came and it took away one of the vadas. You know that story? It went to one of the branches. Now the lady wanted that vada. She had to sell that vada. So what did she do? She started singing. And now the crow thought even that could sing and started opening its mouth. That vada fell. Have you heard of the story? Yeah. But who ate that vada? காக்கா கொத்தின வடை யாஜாட்டா அது தெரியல, யாருக்கோ போயிடுத்து, ஏதோ ஒரு மாமா வாங்கிட்டு போயிட்டார். ரொம்ப நன்னா இருக்குது காக்கா கொத்தின வடை. ஸோ பிருத்துக புத்திரஹம் பிருத்து சேதசஹ, ஐ எம் அ பாலக புத்தி, பிரபவதோ பவதஹ நஹி சிக்ஷயே. Then he continues, Nigama drishtamidam nikhile navaha kvachana vishva tanau purushe sthite ya iha yamupajivati tattanum sahi taya hitaya bhuvinathavan. The one, Nigama drishtimidam nikhilena, the one who has been celebrated in the scriptures. Nigama. Nigama means Nigama. Nigama is Vedam. Agama is also one form of Vedam, but it takes a slightly different approach, but it is all based on the Vedam. So he says, Nigama drishtam idam nikhilena vaha kvachana vishwatanau purushasthite. The one who is the master of the world, vishwatanau purushe, the one who has got the entire universe as his body. Vishwatanau Purushasthite ya iha yamupajivati. Now, for only if we worship that person, sahitaya hitaya bhuvi nathavan, he will be able to bestow the varams that we seek. Why? What was the discussion? The discussion was between Nandagopal and his community men to worship Indra. So that was the discussion. Now Krishna has to lead them from Indra to the hill. So look at the argument how he develops. Ati yajeta nijam yadi devatam ubhayataschyavate jusha tepyagham kshiti bhritaiva sadaivataka vayam vanavata anavata kimadihi druha. Now, what Krishna develops is, he says, Ati yajeta nijam yadi devatam. Instead of worshipping the devata that has been ordained to be worshipped by you, if you end up worshipping an other devata, see, look at this, it's a very intriguing statement. Instead of worshipping the devata that has been ordained to you to be worshipped, if you take up another devata, what he says is, Kshiti bhritaiva sadaivata jushepyagham, that will create agham, papams for us if you worship. Kshiti bhritaiva sadaivata. Now, like how he has, for that statement he has to give a live example. Like how if we abandon Govardhana Parvatam that needs to be worshipped by us and propitiate Indra, then we will incur that papam. So first he creates that fear in them. See, if you have to sell an insurance policy, how will you sell? You cannot just say, sir, insurance policy, nobody will buy. Sir, everything is fine. I am very happy that you are living very happily now. First they will say that. But you remember, I don't know if you know, sir, 2 streets away there is one Vishwanathan. You know, sir? We won't know. He knows we won't know. Then he will continue. That Vishwanathan was my regular client, sir. He's not there today. You know what has happened to his family? He'll create that fear in us. Then only that policy will get sold. Illada policy I've already got to. Why should I buy? They will ask. First you have to create that fear in that person. Correct? So Krishna says, if you end up worshipping a devata which is ordained to be worshipped by you, and if you don't worship that devata, then you will incur papam. Nandagopal, what should I do, Krishna?